Welcome to this course on Introduction to the Python Programming and its Application. In this lecture, we will going to talk about how to load the dataset for the classification task. So next, what we have to do is that we have to get the particular dataset, okay, on which we have to work into our Google Colab. Okay, so the previously we have taken the get dataset and we have called it by the index. So all the index dataset which were available in the get data was available in the dataset. Now we want to call the particular dataset. We want to import that particular dataset. Okay, so how we will going to call it? We will going to call it by the name of our dataset. So how we will going to write here? So we will be talking about the iris dataset. So I will be writing iris underscore one, and what I will be saying, okay, get underscore data, and which data I want to call. Remember the data set name. You will be getting the same data set name. For example, if I write wrong spelling of iris, let's say I'm writing RIISE. Okay, just for the sake of understanding. So you can see that it will not going to call the my data set. Okay, so data cannot be read. Okay, so it's giving me the value error that data cannot be read because this data set is not available with this name. So I have to give the correct name. So I will be giving the iris here. Okay, so I will going to run it again. So now you can see that okay, my iris dataset is available. Now here you have to understand what the iris dataset is all about. Because whenever you are working on a dataset, you have to understand what does the dataset contain. So now we are talking about the iris dataset. So we have got a iris dataset. So first we have to understand what this iris dataset is. So iris dataset is the dataset of a flower. So we have got a flower dataset. Okay. So in this iris dataset, we have got three category of flower. I'm giving the name F1, F2, and F3. And each flower has got samples. Okay, so each flower has got 50 samples. So we have got a 50 sample for this, 50 sample for this, and 50 sample for this. Okay, so total samples will be 150. Okay, so the flower F1, F2, F3, which we are talking about, are the iris flowers. Okay, so the first flower which we are having is the iris setosa. Then we have got a iris versicolor. Then the third flower which we have got is iris virginica. So whenever we are talking about the flowers, okay, we have got a petal and a sepal. And when we are talking about the sepal and the petal, we are talking with respect to their length and width. Okay, so each iris setosa, this is the setosa flower, will have their petal and the sepal. So we have got a petal length and petal width and sepal length and sepal width. Okay, similarly for this we have got a petal length and a petal width and a sepal length and a sepal width. Similarly for this flower number 3, petal length, sepal length, petal width, sepal width. Okay, so how we will going to arrange it? So we have got the data in this way. So here we have got our index, so we will be starting from 0. Okay, so how many we have got? We have got a 50. So 0 means 0 to 49. We have this 50, so this will be my 50. Then 50 to 99, again we will have the 50, and then 100 to 149, again we have got a 50. Okay, so the total will be 150. 150. So I have a 150 rows here. Okay. Then we have got a here sepal length. Okay. So I will be writing here sepal length. Okay. Sepal width, petal length, petal width, and what is the class of the flower? Okay. So that class will going to come here. Okay. So the class here which I am taking is the species. And if you remember, this is my target variable. So I have to call this species. So this was my target variable. Target variable. Okay. So I have only target variable one available in my iris dataset. So I am having this species as a target variable. So whenever I will be calling this function, I have to call this target variable. Okay. And in this species, what we are saying that, okay, first we have got the first 50 flowers, that is the iris setosa. I'm writing short form is. So I have got this is flower here. Then we have got a IVE. Let's say I'm writing this. So I'm having the flower number 2 IVE. Then I have got this flower IVI. So this is the flower number 3. Okay, IVI. Okay, so whatever the sepal length I'm having, I will going to provide the numerical values here. Okay, and then my data set is being created. Okay, so now if you see here, what are the number of columns I'm having? So sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width, and my target variable, that is the fifth number. So how many columns I am having? I am having the 5 columns. Okay, so my data set, when I am talking about my data set, so I have a number of rows 150 and number of columns I am having is the 5. So my data shape which I will going to calculate will going to come out 150 by 5. And if you go back here, you will going to see that the iris data set which I was having is the 150 samples and number of attributes was 5, and it do not have any missing value. Okay, I hope this data set, what the data set contain, is clear to you. So this is my iris data set which I have loaded from the PyCaret, and now I will going to see what is the shape of my data. Okay, so it should give me 150 comma 5. So I will be writing iris underscore 1 dot shape. Let me run it. So you can see it is giving me 150 comma 5. Okay, I can see that, okay, if I want to see more thing, I can use the head command which we have used in the data frame. So I can write iris underscore 1 dot head, and let's say I'm giving 100. So first 100 values I want to see. Okay, so you can see that I'm having the from 0 to 49, I will be having the iris setosa. Okay, so let me do it till 49. Okay, 50. Okay, so you will going to see that 0 to 49 I will be having the data with the iris setosa. Okay, and if I go for the, let's say, 150, and then I will going to run it, so you will going to see that, okay, we have got a iris setosa, iris virginica, and see 150 rows into the 5 column. Okay, so you have to understand that how the data is taken, how the data, what is the shape of a data, how the data is being arranged. Okay, so you should be aware whenever you are doing the programming, you should be aware with the what are the things present in the data. So we have, if you can see that we are having the sepal underscore length. So this sepal underscore length will be the exact name which you have to pass. Okay, you cannot pass sepal length. Okay, so it will not going to take the values from this sepal length. Okay, so you have to give the correct name of the variables that are being used in the data set. So I hope that you have understood that how we have to work on a data set, how we have to examine the data set, and what are the things we have to take care when we are working on a data set. Okay, so next we will going to see the splitting of that data set. Okay, so how we can divide the data into the training and the testing part.